Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Not a Pro Gardener here. Today we are in Zone 6B. We're back in the in-ground garden today, following up on our last video, which I'll pop a card up here somewhere. So to follow up on our last video, we're going to be in the in-ground garden transplanting our cold season brassicas. It's about 50 degrees outside, full sun. Now it's got a slight breeze, which makes it nice and perfect for shorts today. And I am enjoying the weather, guys. This weather is just what we live for in the spring. It's beautiful outside. And we're going to be going over our brassicas as we transplant them. And as I said before, let me put this up here for you here. So this is the spreadsheet, pretty much how we do it. We're going to go down the line and do all those. And then what comes next? Next, well, that'll be tomatoes probably. So I like to get my tomatoes in as early as I can, and as long as I don't have any nights below 45 to 50 degrees, I think I can get away with putting them in the ground. So I'm going to let it get these cold season crops in for a week, let them sit in here and get established. Then next on the list will be tomatoes, and for the tomatoes, I will just be putting them straight in the ground over here on this one side, and here in about a week or so, I will check the 10-day forecast. And if the 10-day forecast seems to be above 45 degree nights, I will probably take the chance and transplant my tomato plants. We're going to go over here, show you the transplants we got, show you the root balls, and then we're going to show you us transplanting them down the line. So let's get to it. It's over here. All right, everybody, so we're down here by the transplants, and I'm just going to pull a plug out just to kind of show you what we're doing here. And let's show you how we pop these plugs out of this tray and show you the tray we use, stuff like that, and kind of get in the nitty-gritty of it. Okay, so this is the gist of what we got going on here. 162 cell tray, Prop Tech. That's how big the holes are underneath. These are bigger than the ones I use for my tomatoes. So I'm just going to take this stick, get it in the one with the transplant in it. I'm just going to pop this guy up like that. And that's about how these transplants are looking, which are not bad at all, guys. No root wrapping. Nice little transplant plug. Now, me personally, I enjoy popping these little plugs out of these trays because whenever they're just perfect, they just pop right out when you pull on them. Now, me personally, I would wait a little bit longer if you can't pull on them just to pop them out. That's usually when I get a good indication of it, but me checking on them, and I need to get them in the ground. The root plug on these guys are perfect. The plants could be a little bit bigger, but I think I'm just going to go with it. I don't think I'm going to have any issues with it. Smaller transplant, less transplant shock. That's a good thing. And I'm just going to go ahead and put them out and hope for the best because I need to get them in the ground. I'm like 2 weeks behind on getting them in the ground, so it's high time that we get to it. So we're going to go ahead and get positioned over here and start putting these guys in the ground. Let's get to it. Okay, everybody, so this is what we got. We got about 30 plugs here. We're going to plant these about a foot apart, because I've had pretty good experience doing this before with broccoli. So what we're going to do is we're going to find each emitter on the drip tape. So I'm going to dig down and find the emitter, and then I'm going to plant them on each emitter so I know each one of them get the appropriate amount of fertilizer and water because I'm planting them on the emitter, at least right close to this, right on top of it almost. So I'm just going to gather that dirt, bring this plug around, and just slightly pack it together around him. Okay, so now that we got this guy done, we're going to go ahead and finish the rest of these. Okay, so these are the Gypsy broccoli I planted, so I'm going to swap some of this stuff around here. The Gypsy Broccoli that we have transplanted here is 60 days to maturity. The most heat tolerant of all variety is this Gypsy Broccoli, handling warm summer conditions, yet performing well in the cool and fall conditions. They produce uniform, high quality, 6-inch dome-shaped heads, and they are downy mildew resistant. These guys I got recommended by a viewer, and I'm pretty interested in seeing how these grow out. So let's move on to the cauliflower now, and then we'll see what we got left. All right, everybody, so this is the Cheddar cauliflower. This is an 80-day to maturity, has beautiful bright orange colored heads from its high levels of beta carotene and vitamin A. This is a hybrid variety, typically produces about 11 to 15 ounce plants that have smooth heads with medium weight and firmness in the curds. Now, I tried these last year as well, but just like everything else that we're going to be planting today, they bolted on me last year because it got too hot too quick. So we're going to try it this year and see how we can get it to go. So you just want to plant them at the top of that soil block you got. You don't want to bury them too deep. You just want to plant them up to that soil block and just give them a little firm packing around it after you find that emitter and put it on the emitter. All right, everybody, so now we're on to the Caribbean Queen cabbage. As you can see, this transplant's kind of a little underdone, but they are holding together and they are nice and sturdy and strong. So we're going to go ahead and put them in with the rest of them. The Caribbean Queen cabbage. It's a hybrid tropical style cabbage with a massive flattened head and it makes it easier to slice and process. These bolted on me last year and I didn't get to try these, so we're gonna go ahead and give them another shot. We only got like 18 transplants, so we're gonna fill the rest of this row in with whatever broccoli or cauliflower I have left. All right, there it is, nice and perfect. All right, everybody, so in this row, we're going to be doing flash collards. We're only going to do about 15 feet row. We're only going to be doing about 15 plants, and we're going to plant them a foot apart. So that's like 15 feet of a 30-foot row here of collards, and then the rest is going to be kale. So for our flash collards, it's 55 days to maturity. If you can see this, that's the transplant size. Root ball holding up okay. So it's going to work out. So this is a hybrid collard with heavy yields, superior heat tolerance, and it's a slow bolting collard. So I'm trying to do a lot more leafy greens this year. So hopefully these all pan out pretty good. Guys, so what we got here is this Black Magic kale. You can see that. 65 days to maturity. It's open pollinated, long and narrow leaves. They are attractive looking and they are tall and straight in bunches. They have dark blue-green leaves with a beautiful savoy look to them. They are dinosaur kale or like the lacinato type kale, if you know what those are. It's called black magic to this variety. So we're gonna finish this row off with these guys. This will be my harvesting row of, I'll be able to come out and pick leaves off all these plants in this row for dinner and have a pot of greens or something like that, you know, some kind of salads. You know, there's lots of different things you can do with them. Hopefully I can get some good recipes going. If you guys got any good recipes, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to try them. I love trying new things. All right, everybody. So this is what we got of our Brussels sprouts. I think we're going to put these on 2-foot centers. So first up is the Red Bull Brussels sprouts. "90 days to maturity." It's an open pollinated Brussels sprout that produces dark red sprouts with a delicate flavor that's milder than green sprouts. Very nutritious, and they're very nutritious. Very nutritious. Very nutritious. They retain the color when they're cooked. These guys are the ones that I happen to grow out in my raised beds successfully. So I know what these taste like, and they were pretty good. They weren't the biggest sprouts. They were like 3/4 inches. They weren't quite an inch. And I think I just didn't quite feed them properly to get them as big as I wanted them. So we're gonna go ahead and give these guys another try. Okay, everybody. So these are the Jade Cross Brussels sprouts. Hopefully you can see that. This is a 90-day to maturity. It's an early hybrid variety that produces uniform sprouts along the 30-inch stalks that are loaded with sprouts around 1 inch in diameter. I had these guys bolt on me last year, so I'm hoping to get to try these this year. So hopefully these guys pan out pretty good. All right, everybody, last but not least, we're gonna put these in our raised beds. Get this a little closer. These are the Tatso Greens, about a 3-year-old seed we've had. And at least I think they're 3 years old, but anyway, these are an Asian green style with high productivity and mild mustard flavor. Great for repeat harvest in spring and fall. It produces small leaves about the size of a spoon, similar to spinach leaves. They are dark green with tender edible stems. Okay, this is another one of those pretty much like a greens series that I'm going for here. I'm pretty much planting a bunch of greens so we can have extra food, and I want to plant stuff that have multiple harvests. That's kind of the theme of this year's greens and garden videos practically, because I have a lot of multiple harvest greens around here. I'm going to be eating a lot more greens hopefully. So let's go ahead and get these guys transplanted, and I'm going to put them fairly close. I think maybe about 6 inches apart. We'll see how that does, because I'm kind of looking to not grow huge plants, so I'm just going to kind of crowd them and see how they do. Now, instead of finding the emitter, I'm just going to go ahead and plant these guys. Get this roughed up a little bit so I can get them in there. Definitely going to need to water these. It's one of the downfalls about having compost is you definitely need to stay on top of the watering situation with them. Although it is nice to have nice and fluffy soil that's nice and nutrient dense, Not used to that around here, as if you could see and tell, all my in-ground garden's nothing but hard red clay. All right, so that's that. It looks pretty good. I'm going to get all this stuff watered in today. All right, everybody, so this is Not a Pro Gardener here. Hope you enjoyed this video of us transplanting our cold season crops, all the brassicas and stuff that we got going on here. Last thing is lettuce, and hopefully those things start coming along here soon, because if I don't get those in the ground, I have a feeling they're going to bolt like they did the last time when I got them in late in my succession anyway. So this is Not a Pro Gardener here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like the video. That helps out with the YouTube algorithm and helps get me out there a little bit more, and we appreciate all the help we can get. This is Not a Pro Gardener here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time out here in the garden. Have a great day.